Hello, this will be a test of EZReview. So this application is an easy way for employers to rate their employees. So we'll just jump right into it. So the first thing you're going to do is going to be able to fill out this form, and you can put pretty much whatever information you want in here. These text boxes will accept strings, ints, whatever really. And then you can kind of rate your employees based on, the designated ranks here. So we can just give this guy a couple different scores, just, whatever we want to give him. Give him a 9 there. Okay, and then it's going to ask a couple questions. In your opinion, is this apprentice displaying qualities to be a leader or a follower? We can say leader. Would you recommend hiring this apprentice? We can say, whatever we want to say. From there, we can go ahead and press submit, and even if we don't like these answers, it's going to give us an option to go over these answers, so we can change these if we want. If we think we did the wrong thing right there, it's going to confirm that the name is right there. If we want to, we can just jump right back to the whole page at the back to start, or we can look at results that are already in the database. But we'll go ahead and submit this, so we can press submit. We can see that a review has been saved here, so we'll jump back up to, we'll go to previous results, and this will give us the ability to view basically all of the reviews done from each employee. So we can drop down this. We can see there's a couple employees in here, but we can go and select the one we just created, which is that one right there. Once we like that, we can press Get Review, and it will show us that we gave him a score of 70, and the date that was on is this. And that way, in case we do another review of this guy in the future, we can see how he's changed, up or down. We can change the different ones. His score was only a 9, which isn't very good, so we might not give him the raises here. So basically, this is all running off of a MySQL database, so it's a fairly simple database. We've got two tables, tscore and TUsers. TUsers just has a user ID, the first name, and the last name, so fairly simple there. tscore has a score ID, which isn't really used for much. Total score, which is just basically the value of all of those numbers we rated them as added together. User ID connects them to whatever user that it was put into as, and then date is just the date that it was entered in the database. It is just by the date. It's not any minutes or seconds or anything or hours or anything like that. So if we jump back in here, we can see there's a couple different things we can look at here. So the first thing I think we'll look at is the index page, index.html. I guess we can stop this. Why is that doing that? There we go. So basically, this is just the form we have. Nothing crazy there. The main thing to basically see is that these values are saved into our class that is input data, and the value, which is, we have basically private strings for every single one of these values that these forms are writing to when the select button is pressed. So if we scroll down to the very bottom, we can see that the command button submit is input. It just basically opens up the input page, which is, this is the page that it kind of goes over everything. So this is the confirmation page. This just shows one more time all the values we had created before, and again, it's the exact same value that it was writing before too. It's just that private string that we're writing to. When we do press command, basically this just takes all of the values from this page, so it's a pretty big method, and it just performs the insert data method with those inputted commands. Down here, this is 2 columns. This just says that, if the database read is, or the database insert is correct, we get the success is 1 or 2, 2 being failure, and that can change whether or not it says there was a success or an error. Result page, this is just the page that shows how you can view different scores. So this has the drop-down list that loads the users, so it returns users from the database, and we've also got a button that gets the user that we have selected up here and uses that to query the database for whatever their value may be. And like I said, they could have different scores. It'll have a different date for everything one of those. If we jump into the back end of this a little bit, show you a couple things. I think the most important thing is going to be the input data Java table. So this basically, we have all of our private strings that we use throughout the database to write to the database. We've got getters and setters for all of these throughout there. This is going to be the insert data method right here. So this is going to take in first name, last name, time, dependability, attitude, basically every single thing that we had rated them on. It's going to change those all to ints because they are strings as they become, as they come through. We're going to add up those ints into a final score, and then we are going to insert the user we have into the database. So we're going to insert the user, we're going to get the user from that form, we're going to make a prepared statement. The cool thing here is that we are actually using the statement.return generated keys. This line of code actually gets the ID, so the user ID that we're looking at here. So it basically finds, if we insert Brad Bruce, it's going to find the user ID from the table we just inserted, or from what we just inserted into it, and then it's going to use that. It's going to get the current ID. It's actually going to use that in the insert entity score. So it's going to insert the total score, the user ID from up here, and then the date, which is obviously just the date time from Java. So that's kind of an overview of the whole project. We've got some other Java pages in here, but these just kind of work on selecting users from the database. So this is just a select query, so we connect to the database. We basically just select all from T users. So it just selects username or user first name and user last name, and combines them into a full name, which it displays in that text box, or the drop-down menus, excuse me. So nothing too crazy there. The real big thing is going to be the input data. So thank you guys so much. If you have any questions, feel free to put it in the bottom. Thank you so much.